Ram Singh, one of the prime accused in the gruesome December 16 gang rape of a 23-year-old girl, allegedly committed suicide in a special cell in Tihar Jail this morning. The incident took place in jail number 3 at around 5:45 a.m. Ram Singh, along with 5 others, are accused of raping a young woman and brutally beating her and her friend. The girl died in a Singapore hospital on the 29th of December.
This is not a suicidal case, this is a murder, totally murder. And number of persons, administration of jail authority, number of politicians, number of administrators, other officials are involved in this matter. He may commit suicide, then it may be must before 3 months ago. And I strongly demand in this case that CBI inquiry must be conducted in this case for fair trial in the interest of justice, in the interest of public person, in the interest of accused, and also in the interest of victim.
The family of the girl spoke to NDTV. One of the brothers told us that the family feels Ram Singh may have hanged himself because of guilt, but it would have been better if the law had taken its own course. Ram Singh's family has questioned the Tihar Jail version, saying he would not have killed himself.
आपको जब राम सिंह से बात हो रही थी, आप कोर्ट में भी गए थे कुछ दिन पहले?
कोर्ट में गया, राम सिंह बढ़िया बोला मुझे कि पापा ठीक बात है, पापा ठीक है, तुम मुकेश से बचा लो। राम सिंह बोला मुकेश बेकसूर है, मुकेश पे सारा इंतजाम ठोक रहे हैं और मुंह पे सारा इंतजाम ठोक रहे हैं। मैं शराब पी के गाड़ी में पड़ा, मुझे कोई होश नहीं है।
पर ऐसा कुछ आपको लगा, ऐसा एक हादसा हो सकता है उसके साथ कि
राम सिंह मरा नहीं है बहन जी, राम सिंह मारा गया, राम सिंह फांसी लगा के नहीं मरा।
Delhi's Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit met the Home Minister Sushil Kumar Shinde this morning, though the Chief Minister claimed it was a routine meeting. Afterwards, the Home Minister did admit it was a major lapse.
जो कायदा है और जो कानून कहता है वो मैजिस्ट्रेटियल इंक्वायरी सेटअप।
क्या प्रिलिमिनरी लेवल पे कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन आप से आई है तिहाड़ से? क्योंकि ये कहा जा रहा है कि उस सेल में 2 और इनमेट्स मौजूद थे और 8 फीट की ऊंचाई पे राम सिंह ने खुद को बांधा था।
प्लीज, मुझे कुछ नहीं मालूम है और जब तक मैजिस्ट्रेट की वो इंक्वायरी की रिपोर्ट नहीं आता उससे कुछ भी कहना या टिप्पणी करना बिल्कुल सही नहीं होगा। इट विल बी रॉन्ग।
देखिए, सुसाइड तो है, ये प्रिलिमिनरी रिपोर्ट है और ये सब इंक्वायरी में आ जाएगा। उसकी इंक्वायरी चालू है और उसके लिए श्री हेमराज लर्नेड मेट्रोपॉलिटन मैजिस्ट्रेट हैज बीन इंटरेस्टेड टू कंडक्ट ए मैजिस्ट्रियल इंक्वायरी into the incident. I agree with you, it is a must be major lapse, but the inquiry is being done, and after the inquiry everything will be done.
Joining us in a bit, Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General of India, and Kamini Jaiswal, Senior Advocate with the Supreme Court. In our Delhi studios, Namita Bhandare, a columnist. Namita Bhandare, pretty inexplicable situation here.
Bizarre. I can't explain it. How a man who's already on a suicide watch list should actually commit suicide. This is a major lapse by the police. It's not the first major lapse in this particular case itself, because as you know, as has been reported, the bus already had 6 traffic violations, had not been hauled up. This was a crime that could have been prevented, and then you make matters worse, that an accused who should have stood trial, who should have gone through the due process of law, kills himself. I can't explain it.
Can't explain it. Mr. Sorabji, just coming to you, sir. This seems to be a case where the course of justice has been halted in its tracks.
You know, what do you mean by that?
Well, he didn't face the complete trial.
Unfortunate event of his committing a suicide. You know, for 1 minute, it will not have any impact on the trial and prosecution of the other accused.
Sure.
That will go on. Except in his case, unfortunately, he has not been able to face the trial and his guilt has not been able to be established by a court of law. That's the regrettable part. But the more worrying part is, how did the suicide happen? What were jail authorities doing? Did they know, didn't have any clue about it? That's the more worrying part.
That is the more worrying part. In fact, we do know that he had at least 3 other cellmates. It was a very small cell, lots of questions unanswered. There was possibly a guard outside as well. There was a closed-circuit television camera which wasn't focused on the cell necessarily, but at least on that guard. And there will be lots of questions that will have to be answered. Kamini Jaiswal, in terms of the law, of course, we know the trial is continuing, but we've seen the other accused also using this, some would say. The other accused saying that they cannot go back to Tihar Jail because they fear for their life. Do they have a point there?
Yes, they have a point there. They definitely have a point there. And let us not confine ourselves to the trial. The issue here is not the trial, because the suicide is going to have no impact on the trial. The law will take its own course in the trial. The issue here is the conditions inside jail, the accountability of the authorities that are in whose custody this person was. He was in judicial custody. Technically, he was in custody of the court. And a person who's already under suicide surveillance, he has attempted suicide once, is capable of having committed a suicide, and the conditions inside jail which led him to commit suicide, if it was a suicide, now this will also going to be investigated and found out. There are already 2 other people in the cell. Can you imagine what the condition in jail is, and what other there are a lot of under trials who may be otherwise innocent and have been implicated. What are they going through?
You're talking about jail conditions.
Jail conditions are supposed to be little human, not subhuman. You can't permit the other hardened criminals to attack the other under trials, or to treat them in such a way that they are pushed to committing suicide. You are supposed to monitor the condition inside. We know what's going on inside, everybody knows, but let the authorities please rise and shine and do something about it.
Just Ravji, the conditions inside jail, we've heard a lot, we've seen a lot, and reporting a lot on other cases as well. Here, again, a lot of questions which remain unanswered. How could he reach the grill, which is about at least 8 to 10 feet above the ground level, when he was only 5'7"? There were 2 other people inside. There was apparently a guard outside as well, Mr. Sarabji.
I agree. These are a lot of questions the jail authorities will have to answer. What's happened to the report of the magistrates inquiry? Do you have any idea?
Not as yet, sir, because that would take time.
I see. No, jail conditions, we all know, apart from this case, they are really, as Ms. Jaiswal said, really subhuman. They are shocking. They are violative of the basic dignity of any human being. After all, they are under trials. They are not presumed to be guilty. They are presumed to be innocent. And in that condition, if the conditions are such, it can well be that a person may, out of sheer desperation, take recourse to the ultimate and commit suicide.
What do you say to jail conditions? Many say this is Namita Bhandare, open and shut case, but as Mr. Ravji and Kamini Jaiswal are pointing out there, they haven't been convicted as yet.
Sure. I'm not going to get into the jail conditions because I don't know. I only go by the news reports that you read and that everybody else read. Let me make it clear that really I'm not shedding any tears right now for this person, and I know the process is, and I know in a civilized society you are innocent until proven guilty, and I'm a little taken aback by a statement made by his lawyer. This is an in-camera trial, so we don't know what is happening in court, but his lawyer has apparently made a statement which I found somewhat bizarre, where he said that the trial was going in his favor, in his client's favor. And I felt that was a little irresponsible, because ultimately a lawyer is supposed to be an officer of the court. He's supposed to uphold truth and justice, not just uphold his client's case. So I can't comment, to repeat, I can't comment on the jail conditions, but I seem to think that we're swinging from one extreme to another, where you have had a situation where trials, criminal trials, and including cases of sexual violence against women, have gone on for years. They drag on for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, making a mockery of the law and making a mockery of justice. And now we seem to have reached a situation in this country where we want instant justice. Hang him in India Gate. That's the kind of shout that is being happening. And which is why actually his suicide, as I said, I'm not shedding tears for him, but it diminishes our system. We are not a banana republic. We are a democracy. And I think we should be proud of the fact that there is a due process of law. And I think all these people should be made to go through that due process. Let the courts decide on
Let the
guilt
courts
and
decide.
innocence.
Kamini Jaiswal, would this incident say, let the other accused plead for insanity, and could that impact the case at all?
No, how can they plead for insanity? They've never pleaded for insanity till today. But I think, the issue here is nobody shedding a tear for this man. The question here is a much larger issue. We can't forget you remember what happened in the state of UP with Dr. Sachan?
Yes.
Suicide, murder. We can't forget all these. These are conditions, and these are absolute negligence on the part of authorities who are looking after the jails. Complicity, carelessness, all kinds of things happen. Money and muscle power can buy a luxurious life in jail, and poor people are treated worse than human beings. So those are the issues I'm more concerned about.
Mr. Sarabji, again coming to the point of a legal procedure, no one is shedding a tear for those accused. They still are not convicted, but there are many who say that even the accused, before they are convicted, their identities and their families' identities should not be disclosed by the media or the courts like it is for the victims.
I don't agree with the reasoning there. And the question is not shedding tears for this person. We are shedding tears for the horrible conditions in jail, about which the Supreme Court has remarked more than once. And the thing is, it's just insensitivity coupled with negligence. Now, there can be many explanations. Maybe this person thought, leave aside what his advocate says, this is quite bizarre, that now it's a fast-track court, he is going to meet his fate sooner than later, and he might have given up hope of his succeeding. But these are all speculation. I think it would be a more meaningful discussion if we can get the report, magistrate inquiry, which should have gone into the matter and pointed out the loopholes and the lapses which resulted in this man being able to commit suicide.
Right. Even when that report comes out, we don't know, there's no time frame, but then we've seen reports come, we've seen reports go. Do you think anything will change?
Well, we saw the Justice
very soon.
Sorry, I think
go ahead.
It's interesting actually, because in December, when this whole incident happened, we started talking about police reform, and then you had the Justice Verma Commission with its very, very comprehensive report, which has only been partially accepted by the government. We're sitting on an ordinance, but I think the issue still remains police reform, whether you're talking about conditions in jail or whether you're talking about lapses in policing, which includes the policing of under trials inside jails. I think we're back to square one, and we haven't really progressed from there at all.
Haven't progressed at all. Kamini Jaiswal, I will just give you the last word here. What do you see that is needed to be changed immediately and in the medium term as the report comes out?
Listen, these are such deep-rooted, maladies that exist in jail. Nothing can be done immediately. But here, at least the inquiry must be conducted.
Something for the other accused who are in Tihar Jail.
Yes. Yeah, of course. They must, they should do immediate action. I think court should take suo motu notice and, set up a committee to go to the jail and see what the conditions are and try and improve and make it a little more human. I'm not asking for luxury there. And please see the discrimination that goes on there. The vast discrimination is there between the haves and the have-nots.
Vast discrimination, but no one's shedding a tear for those accused, even though they haven't been convicted as yet.
That's because of corruption.
Mrs. Rabji, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, a lot of corruption goes on in jail.
No, she's right. Discrimination, it's not inherent, but that's because of corruption, coupled with negligence.
Yes, absolutely.
And complete apathy about the conditions of human beings.
Mrs. Sarabji, Kamini Jaiswal and Namita Bhandari, thanks so much. This is, of course, a topic that will keep coming up in the headlines.